What's up, guys? I'm coming at you from the porch today with something very special. One of the cheapest PCPs that you can buy. I'm told the same as a Stormrider, but mine is actually called an Emerald Varmint. This is in 177. We're going to do this video a little bit backwards today. I'm going to go ahead and sight this baby in on camera. I got some Barracuda Match 177s, and I'm getting dangerously low, but one of my favorite 177s, the 10.34 grains. Now, one of the things that you may say when you see this gun, in person at least, is it looks almost like a kid's gun, and I'll show you this next to a regular gun in a second here. But the thing that I figured out yesterday, this part back is the size of a regular gun, a full-size gun right there, and this part forward is more on the thin baby size. But this could be a good gun for a youth especially, but as I found out when I held it yesterday, it fits a full-size person just fine. Now, they also come with a moderator, but I have heard on the forums, and I confirmed yesterday, these things are freaking loud. I also got my side shot scope cam today, all rigged up, and this is what allows me to bring you those awesome scope cam shots. So I guess I'll wait till after the sprinkler is done. For right now, I'm going to go on here and get my target set up. Alright, I just found a single shot tray for this bad boy. Looks like it has a magnet on it. There's a little magnet right there. I guess you could only slide it in from the back side right there. Nice. Alright, so this is the Emerald Air Varmint magazine. Looks pretty much like a shrunken down Marauder magazine. In fact, if you have Marauder magazine, it's 25 caliber right there, and you have a shrink ray gun, you can actually shrink them down, and they will work. So the way you load them is you spin this forward cover, and it takes the inner wheel with it. And when you get it all the way spun there, turn it over, grab yourself a pellet, and then you actually have to drop it in there backwards, so go ahead and go like that. And then that one's actually going to hold the wheel. And now you can just go and drop these in forward and fill these all up right there. There you go, then this kind of locks into place. Looks like there's a magnet on the bottom there, so that's going to slide in there and stick in place. Pretty nice. Alright, I'm going to start with some Barracuda Match. It's my target down there. Well, it hit the steel. That's a good sign. Let me go down there and see what we got. Yep, you guys, we hit right here. So let me just dial over. I'm just going to dial over, so my next shot should be on the paper. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in to where I think I'm going to be hitting. So when it's time to take some scope cam video, I just slide this guy right in. Right in like that. And then I'm just going to slide my phone in, and it's ready to go. It's all pre-adjusted for my phone, and it'll give me some good scope cam footage. Now the cool thing is that I get to look through the scope just like normal, and I'm still getting scope cam footage. So that's what's so beautiful about this. You don't have to sit there and look through a camera in front of your scope, which I don't think is very good for hunting because you're not going to get the best shot. And you're not helping out your training any by holding the rifle all weird. Okay, I just slid that in, and I'm on 10 power with my MTC scope. Anyone wondering, now watch this, see, I'm turning a dial on my Caldwell Stinger, and my crosshairs are going that fine of a tune up and down. I just want to get where I started, and then I'll try to carefully click over to where my hole was, which is way up and over here. Alright, let's see how we did. Look at that, pretty freaking close. So I'm going to want my bullet impact coming over left. There we go. This thing seemed to have a, yeah, a nice trigger. So let's see. Guess I'm gonna check my air and take a couple shots on these guys, see where we're really at. Yes, I'm liking that. A couple in the same hole, and even my sight and in group ain't bad at 35 yards. Oh yeah, I'm at like 110 bar. I'm supposed to be at 200, so it's definitely time to air up. Okay, so my gun came with a ton of accessories. Let's check them out. Now the magazines on this gun will also fit the Diana Chaser. So if you want some Diana Chaser magazines, just get some Stormrider magazines. Looks like we got some O-rings. This looks like actually some sort of a peep sight or something. And a already machined fill probe, so that's always nice. 1/8 Foster fitting ready to go right there. Looks like I got some O-rings in there too. And this right here is probably some sort of degasser. So this guy has a little manometer located on the bottom right there. As you can see here, the green zone's between, looks like about 75 and 200 bar. So down at the end of this air tube right here, you'll find a fill port. Just slide your fill probe in there. Connect to your scuba tank or your hand pump like that. Like I said, this is a really easy one to pump up with a hand pump because the cylinder is so small. Now you want to fill your air gun slowly, and I'm going to keep my eye on the gauge that's on the gun rather than the one that's on my tank. Always want to make sure your thing is on there good too. It's really probably a good idea to fix your plug in there beforehand. Give it a little tug to make sure it's not going to come out. Then you just slip that baby in there. Looks like it's going to stick out a little bit on the bottom. And here we go. Alright, that's a first. I had to back my fill probe out a little bit to get it to go. Let's see what happens here. Okay, my tank only has about 200 bar in it, so we got 200 bar in this bad boy, even though you can go to, looks like 210. After I bleed the air out, okay, let's go up to this upper black dot, see what happens here. Alright, you guys, we're getting there. Hit the dime. Right on the edge. That qualifies. Yay. Holy crap. Awesome. Okay, you guys, we have a budget gun right here. I am curious to find out if some of these budget pellets might be halfway accurate. So I started out with these expensive pellets. I'm going to go ahead and try some of these premieres and some other random pellets and see if I can get some decent groups at 35 yards. Okay, we'll go ahead and just shoot a group real fast with the 10.34 JSBs for reference, and then we'll go on to some of those cheaper pellets. Well, these are not doing too well, are they? So let's say definitely don't use the 10.3 grain GSPs in this gun. Budget gun does not like expensive pellets. Alright, terrible group at 35 yards with the 10.3 grain JSBs. Now, my Barracuda match, we're putting them in one hole, so that's very strange. But that's how it goes. So I'm going to go ahead and do some Barracuda match right here. Alright, Barracuda match 4.50 head size. Officially, that is pretty terrible. Alright, let's try some budget pellets, see if they do any better or worse. Crossman Piranha, 10.5 grains. Alright guys, look at my group with the Premier Piranhas. Good 10-inch group right there. Wow. So the good news is I can reuse this bullseye. Lucky I didn't shoot my camera on that one, eh? Alright, let's do Crossman Premier flatheads. Alright guys, those were called the Crossman Destroyers, were the flatheads that I just spoke of, but the tin is stuck shut, so we're just going to go ahead and do these Crossman Premier pointed 7.4 grain. At least we're on the paper this time. Well, that was not bad. These are just Crossman pointed pellets from Walmart. Got a lot in the same hole right there. Now let's try the gold Crossman ones. I can't remember what they're called. Copperheads or something. Okay guys, well that looked a little more promising. It looks like all but one of my pellets went in kind of a quarter-size hole, I guess you'd say. Alright, it is chronograph time. I have my trusty Chrony Gamma Master, and I got an Umarex target right there that's agreed to take all the pellets for us. Just going to shoot each of these real fast and see how fast they fly. Okay, first up we got these rapid fire plastic pellets with a little lead on the end. 5 grains. Got a full 210 bar. Oh. Almost 1,100 feet per second. Sweet. Now some 7.4 grain Premiers. 981. 10.5 grain Crossman Piranhas. 865. 10 grain JSB Exact. 891. 13 grain JSB Monsters. 784. Alright, so I'm going to load up with about 30 of these, get this baby pumped up to a full 210 bar, and we'll go ahead and do a full shot string on this with the 7.4 grains. Alright, I got it pumped up to 210 bar. Alright, you guys, we're about halfway, well, a little over halfway through, so we're getting close to the bottom of the tank there. Well, we got about 30% left. Let's see what happens over the next 10 shots. Alright, so it looks like we're getting a major drop off there. Not bad though, I'd say that was 20 solid shots. I didn't realize that these 7.4 grains were going to shoot so fast. So I'm not even going to do any 50-yard testing, which would be right there. I am going to go ahead and hit some spinners though from 50 yards. So these are 4-centimeter spinners. Okay guys, I was under the impression that this is the same rifle as the Diana Stormrider, but I am just going to call this officially a Emerald Air Max Varmint review, because that's more accurately what I got here. And if I do get a Stormrider, who knows, it may perform a little bit differently. So here we go. Okay, the Emerald Air Max Varmint PCP, full power 3000 psi fill, that's 200 bar, multi-shot. The 177 caliber holds 9 in the clip, 22 holds 7. Says it's plus or minus 900 feet per second, approximately 30 to 35 shots per fill. Adjustable trigger, manual safety, aluminum magazine, that's cool, it's not plastic. Shares the same magazine with the Air Max Target Master CP 1M pistol and Air Max Plinkster CO2 rifle. LCD equipped as standard. German beach stock. Weighs 4.9 pounds. That's nice. 37.4 inches overall length. Equipped with an air pressure gauge. Comes with one magazine and a single shot tray at no additional charge. All aluminum breech. Extra magazines are available under $18, it says here. And this is interesting. It says ambidextrous breech modification is available on all of the Air Max series for a $49 charge. So if you want your charging handle on the left side, 49 bucks extra, you got it. And once again, this is $199 delivered. Now, it does say here that all the Air Max series share the same calibers, magazines, and single shot trays. I just got done reviewing their Air Max Precision, whatever it's called, pistol. So check out that review. It's a real good shooter. It was very, very accurate with a scope. Okay, so here's what Emerald Air has to say about their Varmint PCP. The new Varmint PCP is one of the first air rifles actually produced by Emerald Air and carries our in-house brand throughout the entire new Air Max product line. When asking yourself, where does the Varmint fit in? Think a high-performance disco with air arms build quality. We are offering this affordable PCP with many of the high-end design features the other brands charge you much more for at a fraction of the cost. Now, I did kind of get that feeling when I was cocking it. I had the single shot tray and I was thinking to myself, wow, this thing is smooth. So, you know, they're not entirely full of BS on what they're saying there. So that's it, you guys. Let's run this over the chronograph and then we'll see what this will do to some. So let's run about 30 shots over the chronograph, see what's going on there. But first, let's check out this trigger. I've been shooting a lot lately and I'm really getting used to triggers and what's cool and what's not. So I like two-stage triggers. So we got first stage. Ooh, excuse me. So let's zoom in here. There we go. We see the safety right there. You can't really see it, but it has a red ring around here that's quite visible when you're there. So that's how it would be if it was safe. There's my first stage. So basically, I would just know how much my first stage is going to be, and there's not a real crisp. Of course, this is adjustable. This one didn't have a super crisp like Pam, like some of those do, but it did have it does have a predictable one. So when I was shooting it, I was able to just get my first stage on, and then when I was ready to shoot, I'd bam that second stage right there. See what Mr. Lyman has to say about this. £1 pound, 13 ounces. Consistent too. Good, 1 pound, 13 ounces. All right, I pumped this baby up to 200 bars so we can get a nice loud pop. See what the sound meter says about the Varmint. All right, yeah, so it looks like it's between 70 80 decibels on this guy. Not too bad. Actually kind of on the quiet, backyard friendly side. All right, you guys, check that out. That's my MTC at 50 yards. Gonna aim for the top of the can. Here we go. Freaking nailed it. Let's do that again. That was awesome. 4-centimeter spinners, about 1.5 inches. All right, my final thoughts on the Emerald Air Max. I think it's a good little plinker. It is unique. It's, 4.9 pounds, makes it good for a kid. Now, it's definitely not accurate enough to be a hunting rifle. It does have some good power. The fact that I was shooting 1,000 feet per second could have something to do with my poor groups. So maybe with a little pellet research, you could find a heavier pellet that would tighten up the groups on this baby. Seems like the fit and finish on it is pretty smooth. So I'd say I like it. The only thing I don't like about it is it's not very accurate compared to the PCPs that I've been shooting lately. And the other thing is that at $199 might be a little bit overpriced when you could add like $50 to that and get yourself a Gamma Urban or definitely a Umarex Gauntlet. So that's been my review on the Emerald Air Max. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.